So, uh, they mentioned mass shootings and how it isn't a big issue. Just to reiterate what mass shooting is, using the FBI's definition, is mass shooting is a single incident in which 4 or more people are killed by a shooter. And there has been actually 6 mass shootings between now and between 1990, when the law to prohibit gun laws from guns inside or around the school area, and they mentioned it isn't of significance of how the school shootings are happening, but the death toll from mass shootings in 1980 was 12, and 10 years later in the 1990s it was actually 36. So obviously there's been a correlation that mass shooting or deaths in schools are getting higher, and just since the 21st century, there's actually been 13 incidents involving lone shooters, and 66 people have been killed and 81 have been injured. So obviously, gun violence at school and other fatal incidents have grown. So when do we stop this? I believe that schools should be safe. There shouldn't be any shooters on there, of course. Just saying that it isn't very, it's a rare occurrence does not justify that it happens. So when do we put a stop to this? Arming teachers would help either help stop it or help it from slowing it down, I should say. And they also mentioned that the police do not want teachers and other faculty members to try to intervene with the school shootings or the fatal incidents that happen. But according to Sheriff Rich K. Jones from NBC, he states that you need backup, you need people in the schools. Officers aren't always the answer. So obviously the police do want people in there to help out. They obviously don't want the kids to just be lonely, or the faculty to be lonely and just scurry away and hide, when obviously the gunman or whatever, or the perpetrator could easily harm them. And in the Ohio County, according to current research, there was the Ohio County Sheriff Office allowed training for teachers, and within those 20 minutes of opening the applications for gun training, 50 teachers actually requested to join. That was within 20 minutes, and after a while there was 300 teachers that eventually signed up, and they actually had to close the application process because that was just a lot of people. So obviously teachers do want to help aid with gun safety, and they want their schools to be safe, and they want to protect their students. They want to do whatever they can to try to help. So it's not much of a say that they don't want to help. They do want to help, and why should we tell them no, you can't help with this? And a lot of those teachers do have firearm permits already. So if we can get those teachers who have firearm permits to go on board with this, they can definitely help out. They also mentioned another law that they're trying to get schools. They're trying to change the aspects of school, like bulletproof glass and such, to try to get outside people in more difficult. Yes, this will work in sometimes, but obviously there's people who could go and find loopholes between those things. And once they're inside of the school, or once they're tormenting the children, who's gonna stop them there? You can't stop them with a bulletproof glass if they're already inside the school. So we need an inside help. They also bring up an analogy, talking about sharks and the lifeguards. You can't really compare that. Sharks aren't humans. Yes, we're animals, but they have different instincts. They are completely different to humans. You can't just signal out humans like that. Sharks do hunt because that's their natural instincts. Humans don't really go to schools and shoot children as a natural instinct. That's just not something that we do, obviously. So making that analogy and comparing it is unfair.